Attention, all you fishes in the sea. Welcome to the Fishbowl with Sam Fisher.
What's up, all my fishes in the sea? Thanks for tuning into the Fishbowl and for being a subscriber. Today's guest is stand-up comedian Phillip Abraham, aka the rising social media sensation, host of Late Night with Phil. Tune into our conversation and check it out. Stand-up comedian Phillip Abraham on the Fishbowl. Welcome.
What's going on, Sam? Good to be here.
Great to have you. Thank you for taking the time to dive in and swim in the fishbowl with me.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. It's great to see you. It's December or January now, and it's 80 degrees here in Texas.
And I envy you so much.
We kind of want it to be cold. We had a fire going last night, and it's like 75 degrees. We're just pretending to be cold.
That's like my dream weather.
Yeah.
You know, I've you're out in Austin, right?
Yeah, Austin,
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah. I have been there once, and I think it's funny how they say Austin is weird.
Yeah, not so weird anymore.
No, no. In fact, it's my kind of weirdness, you know. It's the music scene seems everything that I've followed with bands that I've interviewed for that have come out of there or that, the Texas area, just the entertainment wise, film wise. You guys have that big film festival and what I believe it's called Levitation.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah.
Levitation. They got another horror one. What is that called? I can't remember. There's like a really good horror film festival. I can't remember the name of it, but the big ones, they're South by and
Right, right.
AFS. Austin
Right.
Film Festival, AFF. Yeah. Yeah, those are
I
pretty good.
have often thought about moving down there as an option because I mean Pittsburgh's great and all, but I hate this fucking weather.
How much time is it cold over there?
So like whether you people want to say global warming's real or not, uh,
You people.
there
Yeah.
there there has definitely been a shift weather-wise. I want to say definitely from like the 2000s up to now, Pittsburgh weather-wise,
Okay.
because like I was born in Silver Spring, Maryland, but like I spent my first year of my life there and moved to Pittsburgh, a year old, and I've been here ever since. And I remember as a kid in the 90s, early 90s, my dad taking me and my sister over to one of the downtown bridges because Pittsburgh is like, I think, the city with like the most bridges or something, or one of the most bridges. I forget the bad trivia Pittsburgh guy. But and I just know we have a shit ton of bridges.
I
Uh,
bet you they've used that to market the city before. Come
oh
on
yeah,
down. We got a lot of bridges here.
oh yeah. I believe Tom Cruise utilized that when he filmed Jack Reacher here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Tom Cruise, he's got that new Digger movie out. People are really clowning on this movie. It hasn't even come out. The trailer. Have you seen it?
I actually haven't.
It's just him with a shovel dancing in cowboy boots and shorts and a shovel dancing around. That's the entire trailer. But it's
Oh, geez.
Iñárritu. You know that director?
Which one is it?
Iñárritu, the Spanish director. He did a bunch of like huge movies, really big movies already. Did he do
I,
Interstellar? No, is it Interstellar? Did he do that one?
no, that was Nolan.
Oh, what's that other one? There was another space movie I think he did.
Oh, is that the one Gravity or something?
Something like that. I think he did that one. Let me see. Alejandro Gonzalez
Yeah,
Iñárritu.
I think it was Gravity.
The Revenant. Oh, he did Birdman.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
people are
yeah.
kind of clowning on the trailer because it's just Tom Cruise in boots and shorts. And the entire branding of the movie is, Digger, which is a little shady there sometimes. But he's got he's got like a tagline on the most ridiculous comedy or something. So he's trying to go full on Birdman, take it to more ridiculous, I guess.
Well, I mean, I did hear that supposedly Ben Stiller is trying to resurrect his Les Grossman character for like a solo movie from Tropic Thunder.
You think that's this one or something separate?
Separate, I mean. But
Okay.
I was just saying, like, he might be at that age now because I did see the last supposed mission, the Final Reckoning, a Mission Impossible, and it like
Yeah.
it wasn't like part one. You could tell he was younger and still had like more ability to
Oh,
you know,
really?
do his own stunts and stuff. And then the by the time they filmed part two, and also like the first Reckoning, whatever it's called, that could stand alone on its own. Like really, I mean, they could have
Three
just wrapped it up in
reckonings.
one movie. But like part two, it just feels like I don't know. They're trying to comment on too much on what's
Why are
going
they
on in
why are they doing part twos in a series already?
well, also it's like the like two that they did before these two, like that actually they should have just left it, after they wrapped up like, with they had like the same bad guy as like in two movies, which was like his own like part one, part two without being a part one, part two, and then it's like I guess they had the, you know,
It's exhausting.
yeah, it's like and also
Ridiculous.
like it makes people think that like I don't know if this is Tom Cruise's intention or anything, but I don't know, like it's like some of the stunts he's doing, I mean, it's some crazy shit. I mean, and he may love it and be able to, do that with the lifestyle that he lives, but it's just you can clearly tell in part two that they use camera tricks because
Oh,
like
yeah.
they like cut away while you hear like, him fighting a bunch of people,
Oh my God.
and they cut back, and then he's
They're all
like,
laid out.
yeah, right.
That's what they did a
So
little bit in Jack Reacher, right? He did a little bit of that.
yeah, a little bit of that.
But
I
I'm
mean,
still a
he,
fan of the first one, like Brian De
yeah,
Palma, like that style where it's not an action director doing
right.
it. It makes it such a more interesting film. Like there's more of a storyline, a plot that's cohesive. Instead of like when they started getting into the other Mission Impossible, it turns into like a Marvel movie where
Yes.
it's like roll makeup shit. You know what I
Yeah, you
mean?
basically had they made it like James Bond.
Hmm.
That's pretty much what they did. It's
And
like
even
it's an
James
own
Bond is more kind of grounded in
right.
reality more than Mission Impossible. But
Right. Well, at least the Daniel Craig ones.
yeah,
Uh
those are good
yeah.
ones.
Yeah. That I think those are really like the only I don't know, like I could rewatch the Daniel Craig ones. Like
Hmm.
all the other ones, like and also don't get me wrong, like Connery is and always will be the best James Bond, just like Michael Keaton will
Yeah.
always be the best Batman, just because he was the first,
Yeah.
to do it. Same thing with Schwarzenegger as Conan, and we saw,
I thought you were
this.
going to say Mr. Freeze.
Mr.
Yeah.
Freeze also. Yeah.
Yeah. He was the
Exactly.
first one.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
arguably he's the only reason that movie's watchable.
Yeah. Anytime it's like the first one, it's like they were trying things. It was more creative, less like, I guess studios were less interested in getting too crazy with them, like putting their finger on everything because they were trying something, right? And people were like, "Yeah, I don't know,
Right.
I don't want to put my hands on this."
Exactly.
And then once they get the second one, it's like, okay, the studio's gonna decide everything. We're gonna make it very polished and do screen testing.
Right. Right. I mean,
Yeah,
Batman Returns is my favorite
it's a good one.
out of the original, like, Batman, the four movies they did. Although I do consider Tim Burton's first two like their own movies, and then Joel Schumacher's are like his
Yeah,
take, on movies. But I just like recently found out through watching some create, informational thing on Facebook, some reel or something, explained that the end of Batman Returns, where it's supposed to be Michelle Pfeiffer back as Catwoman, apparently was like filmed after the movie had already wrapped, like, and they just filmed it like 2 weeks prior to its release.
huh.
And then that isn't even Michelle Pfeiffer. It's like her stunt double or something, and just in the outfit. And they added that at like the very end because they were, anticipating. And I guess that's actually circling back to Birdman, with probably a lot of, you
Yeah,
know,
I did like.
subtext.
Yeah, I did like Birdman. I thought it was pretty cool.
But I liked Birdman. I did,
Yeah.
and I think Michael Keaton got gypped for the Oscar for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think yeah, yeah, there was something to that movie that I feel like, a lot of people are trying to copy after.
Yeah,
Maybe like maybe like the studio or something like this, where they're trying to bring back that style, which is older than the movie itself, right? Let's go back to the
right,
70s, but like bringing it out with a fresh, new kind of patina to it. I thought that was
right.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, and I liked how like it wasn't like a straight like drama or anything. And there was like it was like, is this in his head? Is he like going nuts? Is he having like a nervous breakdown sort of
Yeah.
thing? Or is this all just like part of like what he actually believes is going
Hmm.
on, sort of thing? And it was all kind of like, up for a subjective take, you know.
Yeah.
But I was happy with that movie. I did like seeing Michael Keaton come back as Batman for The Flash, even though it was not the greatest
No.
movie. I would rather see him come back as old Bruce Wayne for a Batman Beyond movie.
Oh, that'd be good. They're doing some really good stuff with the Predator franchise. That last Prey movie, and then this recent one, Badlands, I think it's called.
Badlands I
Um,
haven't watched yet, and I'm very hesitant about
I'm interested. I've never seen it told through the eyes of the Predators, which I think is pretty cool concept. We kind of got into that with the second one with Danny Glover at the end, where you're
right,
kind of
right.
getting more of their side. But yeah, I'm interested. I want to see it.
I mean, like, I like the concept. It's just I don't like some of the stuff with how, like, one, I don't like CG Predator. That's a major complaint. Number two, the
That's the
movie would
biggest
probably be
problem.
watched. It's probably watchable, but I don't like what's her name, Elle Fanning. That was that Dakota Fanning's younger sister.
Yeah.
I don't think she's believable.
She's
As an
too
android, she's too good looking. You know, to
yeah.
pull. She's not Lance Henriksen, and she's not Ian. What was his name? Ash from
Yeah,
Alien,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he's not Michael Fassbender. Even though
Hmm.
I hated those Prometheus movies, like, and the thing about the Prometheus movies is like, listen, the first one could have been an excellent film if it just had nothing to do with Alien, and
Yeah.
and you looked at it as that, and I almost could like can go back and rewatch it, without like, as like thinking of like that. But then they did Alien Covenant, and that movie fucking sucked balls. Um,
Yeah, it was terrible, dude.
and
Terrible.
it made me really, really hate that character, David. who I'm like, if I have to see one more goddamn film with Fassbender as this fucking android when it's like those movies had nothing to do, like the androids were in there, but like it wasn't about AI, and then like they're taking like what's, relevant today with AI and everything and like trying to insert that, subcontexts or storylines into those movies where it's like that's not what they were about.
Yeah.
Like the androids were like background, and I also always thought that like with Aliens, the second one, how they introduced the concept that like the aliens were like essentially insects, you know,
Hmm.
like and like parasitical insects
Hmm.
essentially. And that concept and storyline versus where they went with Prometheus, like
Hmm.
you limit yourself so much as, from like a just my this is like my screenwriting background, schooling, perspective where like,
Hmm.
I always like watch a movie now and I'm like, okay, these are the seven plot points where, you know, beginning, middle, end, wrap around sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I just go into a movie like, okay, here we go, plot point kind of thing lines. But those movies, like the concept of like insect, aliens like
Yeah.
that, could have come from how many countless worlds until you got to like the actual originating world. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, it just is like you could do so much with it, and they totally dropped the ball. I guess is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
Yeah. No, for sure. Prometheus, though, I can watch it over and over just because of the set design and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
The vibe is right, but yeah, the plot is weak.
I mean, there were cool stuff in there, and I think what they've been playing on like HBO Max or something. I think it's on there, but I mean,
They
I've rewatched it. It's Covenant that I think I have the big.
Oh, it's that's a problem. It's a big
Yeah,
problem. Yeah. The show on FX was pretty good.
I have not watched that yet.
Yeah, really good. I was very surprised they keep the level of quality like up there on all aspects except for the main actor, which is she is from Austin. She's the daughter of the guy from Friday Night Lights. You know who I'm talking about, the coach?
Yeah,
Yeah. And so she's got a Nepo baby situation, and she's like in the biggest part, in this whole
yeah.
series. And she's not really equipped to carry, the series, but, there's a lot of other good actors in there. What's his name from Justified? He's in there too.
Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, Oliphant's in there.
Yeah, yeah, and I think he plays an android, doesn't he? If I
Yeah.
remember from like the publicity. Uh,
Yeah.
with that that crazy what is it, white or silver like hair or something.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Yeah,
good. He's good.
yeah. I actually interviewed a guy by the name of Mark Ralston, who was
Mm.
in Aliens.
Mm.
Um, he played like the two like badass soldiers with like the big like machine guns. There's
Yeah.
the male guy and the
Yeah.
Hispanic one. He's the male one who dies way too early in the movie. Um, I always thought that, and he even said in the interview, like, everybody tells me that my character went way too early. But he's the one who like dies, and when they initially like go into the nest,
uh,
and they all kind of get ambushed. He's like there's like him and the woman. Her name is Vasquez,
yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
she, he gets hit with the acid because she fires the gun and blows up one of the aliens, and like the blood gets on him, and then he like
Yeah.
torches or whatever.
Vasquez is pretty good character.
That's a great character,
Yeah.
and oddly enough, that actress was in going back to 80s horror. Was
Mm.
in a one of the best vampire films. Actually, it was her. It was like almost all the characters that died except for Bishop. Vampire movie. Have you heard of it? It's called Near
I
Dark.
think so. Near
It's Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen, and the actress who played Vasquez. They play vampires. Actually, in Texas, the movie takes place near dark.
I haven't seen it.
And it's directed. It's I think it might either be it's either her directorial debut or it's one
Whoa.
of her first films. Catherine Bigelow,
Yeah.
who
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, who did Point Break and was I think married to James Cameron at some point. She's like the first woman to basically have like action film like box office success because it had been like a male pretty much all I think all like male dominated, as far as directors went
Mm.
for action films, and she like redefined cinema for that.
Dude, I have not seen it. Seen it. I want to see it. Near Dark. Mm. I do love Strange Days. That was another one I've heard.
Yeah, yeah, and James Cameron wrote that. uh
Yeah.
yeah.
It. You get all the info, man.
I told you right from the
It's
beginning.
awesome. Because I'll geek out on film stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, my sister actually got her name Jessica from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Mm.
That's going back as far as I've been doing this, and my I always tell this because my first R-rated movie was Total Recall at age 5.
Yeah, that's a great movie, man.
Yeah, yeah. I have like a
Okay.
poster, like a 24 by like 36 or 4, whatever it is, like a big poster of Schwarzenegger holding like the head after he, takes it off with like the 2 weeks, you know, scene
Yeah.
that I got custom from like Amazon, and I have like from like Predator, the first one, when the Predator goes into his battle stance right after he takes off the mask
Hmm.
to fight for Schwarzenegger, and it's like there's that just full body shot of like the arms open, just like the battle stance. I have that, and I was able to get that autographed by Ventura.
Nice. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, I go to like all the Comic-Con stuff. I cover a couple of the horror conventions for my show. There's one coming up technically end of February, beginning of March this year. I'll be covering again called Horror Realm, and for all my listeners, I just recently, as of last weekend, finished posting all the interviews for this past year's Horror Realm, and those are all up to check out. And this weekend premiered my coverage of another local convention here called the Living Dead Weekend, which is like a whole tribute to George Romero and all the zombie movies and
That's
everything. And
awesome.
it's like a big thing here in Pittsburgh. You
Mm.
know, we have like the Monroeville Mall, which unfortunately just got bought by Walmart of all freaking people. And I'm pretty sure it's all in question of like if they're going to keep the mall the same because they definitely don't have any interest in like keeping it as a landmark from where they filmed Dawn of the Dead, the
Hmm.
original,
Yeah.
but Tom Savini is our local one of our local celebrities.
It's
Tom
cool.
Atkins is another. He was in Lethal Weapon and Night of the Creeps, a couple Carpenter movies.
That's a
Uh,
good one.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
man. I like all of Carpenter's stuff. It's so good.
yes. Carpenter. Snake Plissken is like my probably one of my top favorite film characters
I
ever.
just watched the Escape from LA like a couple days ago. Not.
That was my first Carpenter movie in theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I remember telling my dad, Dad, there's this movie coming out. It's John Carpenter's directing. It's called Escape from LA. He's like, no, 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 you mean Escape from New York. And I'm like, no, no, it's called Escape from LA. And he's like, well, are you sure? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, well, then it must be a sequel or something. because there's
Hmm.
the first one was called Escape from New York, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's a first one, because I'm like, a little ass
Even
kid,
better. Even
yeah.
better.
So it was like constant trips to Blockbuster, the old days that none of these Gen Z kids know about, going into a video store and having like spending at least an hour inside the video store because you would be not only looking through all the sections, it's like, what do I want to watch,
Hmm.
is it going to be horror, is it going to be action, is it going to be drama, comedy, and then all the guys that felt guilty going back into the adult porn section. you know
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
and these kids today, they just go on their phones and it's right there,
Yeah.
well, depending on what state you're in, right?
Yeah. It was kind of cool. There was always like at least a couple of indie kind of
Right.
video rental places too. We had a big one here that closed down. Love Videos. You ever heard of that one?
No, no.
Yeah, it was huge. It's like a massive collection, and I think they closed it or sold it.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's like a dying thing. Like I think there's one like major store, I forget where it is in the US, but it's like it's like I think the last, if not the last, one of the last places
Dude,
that solely sells VHS.
so my neighborhood's Mexican. I haven't been in there, but there's a video store down the street, and I'm guessing they're selling or renting videos.
Wow.
Yeah.
You gotta check that out. You gotta like
Oh yeah.
verify, you
So we'll
know,
let you know.
is this a
Yes.
thing? Is this still a thing?
I'm pretty sure it is it's probably like Mexican movies that are like harder to get, like streaming stuff, maybe.
Right, right.
That's my guess, but I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna get to the bottom of
Yeah, yeah. Perfect late night with Phil coverage topic.
it. Right, right.
Right, right there. You know,
In
uh,
local news,
exactly. Exactly.
videos are being sold and rented.
In Little Mexico, in St.
Yeah,
Louis.
yeah.
Hey, I think I just got your next segment right there.
There you go. Always working. We're working. We're always working on it. You know.
Definitely, definitely. I believe me. I get it. I, it's like I watch Kill Tony, and obviously I have questions for you about that.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, I had tickets to see it here in Pittsburgh a couple like this past October, and I got sick, and I couldn't go. I was so freaking pissed. If they ever come back, I am making sure I get my ass somehow into that venue to see that, because I mean, it makes it seem like anybody can do stand-up comedy, but like at the same time, that's totally unrealistic and just not true. But like some people, like, seeing people like Cam Patterson, like he's just naturally funny. Like
Yeah.
some people I feel just, joke around, and like I mean my all my kind of humor, I don't know, I always joke that like Jim Carrey's The Cable Guy as
Mhm.
his best performance because I always related to that movie.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a great,
you
great
know,
one.
I in his character because like minus the stalker part.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just throwing that out there, minus the stalker part, but
I
in
mean,
terms of his like
he had
movie.
problems. He had problems, but he was a good person.
Right, right, right. He was fucked up, but like he didn't actually, do anything violent,
Yeah.
violent, But his the way he jokes around, with like movie
Hmm.
references, and stuff like that, pop culture. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I joke around, and movie references and stuff. So that's totally different than doing stand-up comedy, you know.
Hmm.
So I was wondering, like, what was like your overall experience? What was that like the whole like you showed up, they pulled your name, like just the whole like, the night, was there like any crazy partying or anything like going on or, what was the big overall like, experience in general, I guess.
Um, just going there, like I'd been there many times before and not thinking, you know, things gonna happen of it. And I was with Give Me No Breaks, pool table, waiting to pass time. And they called my name, and I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. And I was wearing a hat too. And I was like, ah, shit, man. Yeah, I didn't shave my head. I can't on the hat now. So, yeah. And then, Colt McNeely,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's done the show a handful of times already, but he took me outside and it was raining crazy. Somebody like me from inside, somebody's like, you're going to need this. But, we're walking over there and it's pouring. It's crazy rain. So both of our shoes, mine and Colt, were completely flooded wet. So we're just squishing around and shit and get over there. And you're at the bottom of the stairwell and hide everybody and go up the stairwell. There was a guy up there. I guess Tony had played poker with him or something.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that guy's going up there murdering it, just having a good time. And so I'm like, fuck, doing pretty good. And he knows them and they're having a great time. They're friends. But yeah, it went up there, did the thing. And actually, I took off. I went straight home. So that's the end of that. I did not, no, I did not stay and party or anything like that.
Okay, okay. But
Yeah.
I have to say your India Pakistan joke is I I I, you know I'm Jewish and
Yeah.
I'm Zionist Jewish. I don't give a shit. Come after me, you fuckers. I'm ready. You know, so I especially chuckled, very like dark humor,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
at that one, because I'm like, yeah, that needs to happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you liked it.
I was like that's a good, current events, you know.
I mean it ironically, but you're taking it literally, and I love that.
I mean, obviously, like
Yeah.
I know it's meant to be ironic, but like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like I just laugh at it because I'm like, yeah, that actually, yeah, that
Yeah.
speak, preach,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. That's awesome. Yeah. But it was a bit slow going on that appearance to, get going there. It's a little bit
Yeah,
dry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was cool that like the crowd was like vibing with like,
They were so supportive. Like they
yeah,
were just
yeah,
like hooting and hollering and stuff. I was like, all right, that's nice.
yeah.
Because if they're gonna like you or not.
Yeah,
But
it,
it's
it
a little
was it was it
close.
was it was pretty cool. I mean, I was definitely chuckling, not just at that India Pakistan show, but that one I think was probably my favorite. Unexpected, little throw in there that I was like, all right, now we're cooking with fire, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
you know. But I mean, I'm really into like just edgy, racy humor.
yeah.
It's just is all it's all in the intent and how it's
Hmm.
executed. You know,
Yeah.
I think that is what. I think most often gets taken out of context,
Mm.
especially in the comedy game.
Yeah. I really like one-liners.
Yeah,
And so I started with one-liners and I still do one-liners, but with a bunch of other stuff now. But the one-liners are amazing. I love doing them. It's the greatest thing to come up with a good one, you know?
right,
And
right.
yeah, they're just fun because it's so little. I just love the economy of words, being able to use the least possible amount of words to get somewhere. It's really exciting.
Yeah, by the way I obviously talk, I elaborate a lot. So, and it's learned
I
patterns.
don't mean that in conversation, just in jokes.
Well, right, right, right. Well,
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, I could take a note from
yeah.
learning to, instead of going, as I say to my dad, who I learned pretty much everything from, because he's like, if I had to say a family member hero, it would be him.
Mm,
He's the guy that got me into everything that I'm into now. Full supporter of what I'm doing with my show, and constantly giving me ideas and background and any type of support that he can. And he's a great dad because I, talked to him about this a couple years ago, and I was like, I have a serious question to ask you. You were like the stay-at-home dad when I was growing up, and like you let me like watch like all these like R-rated movies, and like I mean Total Recall was just the start, and
mm,
like you actually made it like an agenda to like teach me, film cinema history and everything. Like, I mean, he was like prepping me as like a pupil or something, like, you can't watch A Clockwork Orange until you're in high school, you know,
mm.
sort of thing. You can watch these movies, but not these movies. You can't watch nudity until you're, in your teens and everything. And every R-rated movie that had nudity in it when, before my teens, it would always cover your eyes, sort of thing. But like,
Uh,
going back to Total Recall, the shootout on the escalator and Schwarzenegger using a guy as a human shield,
yeah.
totally getting obliterated by bullets.
Yeah,
It's like,
there's
it's
a
like, okay,
double standard for violence and
right,
and
right,
nudity, which is like crazy. Because I grew up
right.
super religious. We're in a religious household, so it's like, yeah, same thing, just no nudity, but violence was fine. Because I grew up watching shit like, because my dad would do a lot of videotape copying. We had thousands of
Yeah,
videos,
yeah.
and Delta Force was one of the earliest memories I had. Chuck Norris
Yes,
shooting people
yes.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm basically big fan of like my idols are basically the cast of the Expendables.
My roommate was making fun of me while we were talking about Kill Tony. She was laughing at me just a second ago. But yeah, Kill Tony, man, I wanted to get out of there as soon as possible because I have been skittish about my whole banning thing
Mhm.
since it happened. So I felt like, one, I was skittish about talking about it, and I knew I was going to talk about it. So that was kind of the whole vibe I had, like walking on eggshells. But
Right.
I guess, after the appearance, I left because I just was like, I don't, maybe a sense of paranoia, possibly.
Yeah.
Like something might happen to me. I don't know. So I took off, but because it's kind of crazy when you find out you're banned from one place and then you go somewhere else and they tell you, hey, it's over here too. You go to a third place and it's like, what? And then it's like you're getting your paranoia amps up because it's like, how many other places are you, doing this or shadow ban from where they won't tell you, but you can go in there. They're just not going to book you, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah. So that's why I took off. But I was happy to get it off my chest. to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. What exactly happened with that? Or, I mean,
Like afterwards,
yeah,
nothing. Red Band didn't unban me, and Creek has stayed the same, and Cap City's the same. Use an alias for Cap City to get up there.
nice, nice.
You got to get in how you can, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, we have this like big Comic-Con up here in Pittsburgh, and they specifically state like on the website like no unlike approved media, you know,
Mm,
and I just assumed that like the guests knew that because like I would ask some of the guests there to do interviews, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I'll do it right now." And I'm like, "Well, like, if the guest is giving consent, like that should be enough to do it." And they actually had Ming Chen, who was one of the guys from Comic Book Men, Kevin Smith's like show that was on AMC for a while,
yeah.
and he was like, "Come back tomorrow." I think I was there on like a Friday, and he was like, "Come back on a Saturday, and I'll do like a quick like couple minute, 5 minute little segment with you live here." And he's like, "You gotta do like guerrilla style." And it's like, hey, it's free publicity for them. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, kick you out for interviewing someone who gave consent, to
Mm,
be interviewed? Like, if you have to do it guerrilla style, that's what you do to get those interviews, out there. And that's one of coming from one of like the major, podcasting giants, in the game. So I listen to him, and I've gone back there a couple times, like, you know, and
hmm
gotten interviews. There was like one year they had like a big like horror themed convention where the Living Dead weekend was there, and they had like their own guests. And I just went in and like was like back like in back hallway areas where like only staff is allowed, and all the guests looked at me and was like, "He's all right, he's all right."
mm,
So you do what you got to do to keep what you're trying to do alive. You
yeah,
know, pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah,
So I sympathize, and I get it. Yeah.
yeah. It'll work out in time.
Hey there, all my fishes in the sea. Thanks for tuning into today's episode and for being a subscriber. Your continued listenership and support means the most and helps keep the show growing to deeper and deeper depths. I want to let all my guppies in the sea know the Fishbowl has now officially partnered with FastCustomShirts.com, where they're now selling custom Fishbowl t shirts under their podcast and website section. Every t-shirt that's purchased helps and goes a long way to keep the show growing to deeper and deeper and higher depths. I also now have custom hats, beanies, handbags, pens, mouse pads, everything to make you look like the coolest looking fish in the sea, which you can DM me directly on Instagram at the Fishbowl88 or on Facebook at just the Fishbowl, or you can friend request me, Sam Fish, directly and get yours today. Your continued listenership and support again means the most. It's the most important fishes that flock together. We are a school of fish and we keep the unit going. Let's all keep swimming upstream.